terms. He went and got one of the best in the business, Chris Lighty, and said, negotiate this shit for me. But I'm coming in on my terms. I want $1 million. Non-recoupable fucking million.
But 50 was always resolved that he would make a deal with shady Aftermath for artistic reasons, as well as the $1 million signing fee he required.
When have you ever heard a rapper or any artist getting $1 million signing bonus like he a basketball player, something that's non-recoupable? Not up against the fees later on. They're not taking it out of the money from the $6 million that he sold. You are giving me $1 million because I don't have to fucking sign with you.
Paul Rosenberg was like, yeah, the paper's here right now, and just send everything. We couldn't believe that shit, man. We almost rapped on the road going to New York. Man, we was driving crazy, kid. We couldn't believe that shit, kid. We almost crashed this shit because it was raining. Now we were so excited.
It says a lot about him. It says that the brother's not gonna fail. It says that he's diligent as hell. That his drive is incredible. He wanted it. He wanted it real bad. That's what I think it says, that is if that you keep pressing and you press and you're talented enough and you press, you can get what you want and you can get it on your terms.
So, that was a good day for us. I was really happy. Fifth was really happy because that nigga worked so hard for that shit, you know what I mean? Son worked hard for that. So seeing him get $1 million deal out the jump, I was happy for son, you know what I mean? Definitely.
When Get Rich or Die Trying came out, 50 had a mixtape in the stores that he was making money on. I can't remember the name of the mixtape, but it was in the store, like in Tower, in Best Buy, not on the street. He had a mixtape in the store that he was getting $5 a pop off, because I remember reading his sound scan. When Get Rich or Die Trying came out, and it did I think almost $500,000 the first week, he was still selling like 70, 80,000 a week of the mixtape that he was catching $5 a pop off. $5 a pop off every one of them shits that sold. He didn't need that shit. That's why they had to give him $1 million. Because if they didn't get him, somebody else would have signed him and would have gave it to him.
You fresh out the hood and you running with Eminem and Dr. Dre, hell yeah, you gonna be successful, man. Once you got that money behind you, and you know Eminem, he sells 8 million copies, Dr. Dre sells 6 million copies, and 50 was the hottest nigga underground for a long time. So when Eminem came to him, now he got the white fan base, broaden them out. That's what did it right there.
When Get Rich or Die Tryin' was released, it changed everything. 50 Cent fever had finally hit. He was everywhere.
I didn't think the album was going to be as big as it is, but I don't think you can never predict that. I knew it had potential though, because he had the guns behind him. You know, he had Dr. Dre and he had Eminem, so I knew it was a very good chance, if I had to put my money on it, that something big was going to happen. But of course, you never know.
While Dre contributes some of his best work in years, and Eminem's influence is apparent, it never overwhelms 50's own personality.
It was 50 Cent fever, because he had already released so many songs in the mixtape that had leaked to mainstream radio, which is rare. His first single, In the Club, had been playing for about a couple of months. Everybody knew it, so when the album came out, you knew it was gonna sell, $1 million in the first week and a half. So, it was just his time. Good management, good record label, good label mates, and a good lyricist with a nice story behind him. Everything fell into place for him.
Thanks to Eminem, 50 had secured the all-important white fan base, which secured his phenomenal record sales. This appeal was very important.
50 Cent, the white audience, is partly what makes him the phenomenon that he is, the record-selling phenomenon. And if 50 Cent didn't sell so many records, we probably wouldn't be talking about him right now. So Eminem introduced him to that white audience that he already had, and they loved him.
Extremely important for Eminem. 50 Cent is probably the best thing. Eminem career, phenomenal. 8 million, Marshall Mathers, Slim Shady, but he was looked upon from black people as pop. 50 Cent gave Eminem street credibility. And I think Eminem would tell you the same thing.
So that was the breaking point. That was the phenomena that he created. I mean, he found his way out of Jamaica, Queens, out of the streets, his record really not selling in the stores. Small Columbia Records dropped him. And he found his way from that to the suburbs in Ohio, to the suburbs in Kansas. He found his way all the way over there. The bridge was Eminem. And they all love him now. And he's a phenomenon because of it.
And 50 is like, yeah, yo, Eminem, yo, you know you're my favorite white boy, right? It gave him credibility as an artist, and even more so, it gave Eminem credibility as a producer now.
Well, the 50 Cent phenomenon was crazy. It still is crazy right now, still going on. But like I said, it was crazier in New York because before he got his record deal, he was still all over the streets of New York. You couldn't get away from hearing something from 50 Cent on the mixtapes, everywhere. Even on the radio, he was still on the radio here. He had bootleg records that he made and they was playing on the radio up here. So from that point until when his album came out, they started playing 5 or 6 cuts off of his album on the radio in heavy rotation. It's just been big.
The record was a deservedly huge success, selling 1.5 million copies in its first fortnight of release, making it the biggest selling debut album of all time. It had taken a while, but 50 Cent had finally arrived.
Beef is like drama.
As if he didn't have enough enemies from his days as a crack dealer, 50 Cent wasted no time in laying into those he dubbed studio gangsters.
A beef is when people got problems with each other. It's beef is problem. It's when you got a problem between you don't like me, I like you. It's an argument, it's a disagreement. It's a problem between two people, they have beef. And him and Ja got a serious one.
50 Cent's most famous beef is with rapper Ja Rule. He claims that he and Ja grew up 5 minutes away from each other in Queens and that Ja was robbed by a friend of 50's.
Oh, those Stepford for a long time ago, like a close friend of 50 robbed Ja. Then Ja seen 50 with him. So 50, you know, he rapping now at the time, so he tried to tell Ja what up. So Ja was looking at him, and 50 had his hand out. So 50 pulled his hand back and was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, that's how that happened in the club.
The beef is definitely something further to Ja Rule's and 50's beef. It's been going on for years, and to me, it's not to sell any records. They both sell records. They both unsold so many millions of records. So it's not gonna, I don't think a stage beef is gonna help anybody sell an extra couple of records.
It's extremely serious. It's serious on both ends, and it saddens me because there's two guys that I love to death, both of them, from the same hood in Queens.
So ever since then, 50 seen him again in Atlanta. That's when they had a fight. 50 punched him in the eye and took his chain. Yeah. That's how that whole drama with John 50 started.
I don't know what would happen if Ja Rule and 50 Cent see each other. I don't know. But I think it's serious when you have people that's in their camp, out around their camp, their associates that rose with him sometimes might see one of Ja Rule's people or vice versa, and that creates a problem in the streets in the hood. And then that's when you see it on TV and it escalated into saying, oh, one of 50 Cent's people are his members of his group, you know, and that's where the problem really becomes, because Ja Rule and 50 Cent are rich and they're going to continue to do what they do, but they can't possibly take care of everybody that's around them.
I don't know where it would stop with 50, because, you know, he blamed them for getting them shot. So I don't know. I don't know how true that is. I'm not saying it's true, but that's what he blamed them for that.
because it's usually the entourage's rumors that sort of bring in the lyrics to a physical presence, because it's all of that, oh, you're gonna let him say that about you, and you know, he's talking about this person. And Ja Rule and 50 Cent beef was supposed to be lyrical and